Hey everyone, Happy New Year and welcome back to the first Paint and Slay of 2022. Oh my gosh, can you believe that?
I've been saying it all week and I still can't believe it.
My brain just went, no, no, you're wrong.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing to say. And once again, I've been saying it all week and it's still every time I'm like,
Yeah.
are we sure? Are we
Yeah,
sure?
because that's really, because it's, I don't know. I think everything's just kind of mushed together at this point from my brain. It's like, no, it's a 20 something, right? I'm 20 something.
Yeah.
It's 20 something year. But hi, everyone. Welcome. This is going to be episode 3 for our young green dragon from WizKids Miniatures that we've been painting. So we've spent 2 episodes on this already. We've gotten some work done in terms of doing a black wash to bring out all the lovely detail on this fellow. And then we've gone in and we've worked on the body and the wings. So today the hope is to get the belly, get the mouth, get some dry brushing and start some of the fine details today and see how we go with that. But before we jump into painting, is there anything we need to announce, share? Try
Oh
over
yeah.
news? Oh, I was going to say, we got to have news. There's got to be stuff floating around. So you need to take over.
Well, we'll see what kind of news that we have. There may be some breaking news
There
a
may
little
be
bit
some.
later.
Ooh. Do, do, do,
I,
do, 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 do.
I promise nothing, but we'll see. For the moment, what I will say is, first off, thank you to Martin, who is our moderator in our chat and doing our producing and letting us know how we look and sound and all of those wonderful things. Thank you to Martin. If you do have any questions in chat, you can put question in big capital letters before you tell us what your question is. You can ask about painting. You can ask about Idle Champions. You can ask other things too, but mostly we're talking about painting and Idle Champions. You should be able to see the code for the Electron Chest on screen and in the chat. Also, if you are new to Paint and Slay, and yes, we are on part 3 of this Green Dragon, but if you'd like to catch up and join us for any of the previous Dargans that or parts of this Dargan that we've done,
Parts
all
of
of our
Dargan.
parts of Dargan. All of our episodes are up on our YouTube channel. If you go to the Paint and Slay playlist, you can find all 10 of our previous episodes. And if you come to our Discord, discord.gg/idlechampions, I know now everybody's going to drink because that's become a thing. If you go to our Discord, you will see the Paint and Slay channel where you can see the updated list of stuff that we're using. So specifically paints, brushes, the mini, things like that. And that way, if you do want to get exactly what I will be using, you can do that. We've done our best to try to keep costs as low as possible. We're doing a lot of really fun things with mixing paints and using paints as washes and things like that. And then V will be showing off some of the more the variety of stuff that you can get.
Yeah.
But if you do want to watch painting with the Dargan, with the stuff that we recommend, which is basically just some paints and brushes and a bunch of paper plates and cups, then you can check out the Discord and it will all be there. And I'm like looking around to make sure I think that's everything. I'm getting told you are a bit loud and your table cam it looks okay to me, but I'm hearing it's slightly out of focus.
Slightly. Well, it goes out of focus every so often depending on how close I get to the miniature. So there is that game to play as well. But if need be, I can tweak it if it's turning into something that's established. And if I drop myself there, how does that sound there, folks?
Well, like we will find out, but it sounded like you were good. You were just a bit louder than me. Yes, totally looking better, sounding better. Yay! Yeah. You know what? Starting off 22 with like little tweaks.
That's the thing with larger miniatures because of size and my having to get to angles. There will be times that it blurs out every so often, but I will make a point to get it into its sweet spot, which is right here, so that you can see the details a little bit better. So that being said,
one last thing. Since we haven't mentioned in a while, if you are looking for captions, we do have live captions. If you hover over the Twitch chat, over the Twitch display, you'll see the little captions box that you can click on. You can do some adjusting to those captions the way you like them. If you're on YouTube, we should have captions on this as well. So enjoy those. And otherwise, let's get to the painting.
Let's get to the painting. Okay, so we have still to work on here. We have the mouth with the tongue sticking out very bleh. So we're going to get the mouth painted up. It'll give it some time to dry because for some reason nooks and crannies like mouths and deep inside the mouth take a little bit longer to dry. I think because it's a little bit less airflow in that area. So we'll get the mouth painted first and we're going to work on getting to the belly. And while those dry, we'll work on doing the talons and claws. And then work on some dry brushing is my game plan for today. So what we're going to need is and we're using Vallejo Game Color Line. You don't have to use this color paint if you don't want to. What I'm going to be pulling out is called Bloody Red, but it is actually a nice, bright, medium, warm red. Okay, so that means it has more orange undertones to it as opposed to blue undertones. So I'm going to be using this, and we're also going to be pulling out our classic black. And what we're going to do is we're going to darken Bloody Red just a little bit because I don't want to go in with this very, very bright red in the mouth because it's going to look a little bit alarming. But by giving
I mean, and maybe alarming is good for a Dargan, but you know, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm just going to take a couple drops of Bloody Red and then a drop of black and mix the two together so that I end up with a darker tone red. And let me put my wet palette over to the side here so people can kind of see what I'm doing.
Yeah, because I'm always going to be asking, like, okay, so pea size, so droplet size.
Let's say pea size for the red, and for the black, I went with what's a good? Trying to think of a good popcorn. No, what's a good mid granule size thing?
I don't know, but I would also accept number of peas.
Number of peas? Okay, so like 2 peas to 1 pea. How's that?
Okay.
So as you can see, go ahead.
Nope. I was just gonna say hi real quick to a bunch of people in chat. Just said hi. Yay. Hi, Irene UK. Welcome back to Paint and Slay, Alias Buck. Welcome back to all of the fun tabletop desk drive. So welcome back to your afternoon enjoyment of painting.
All right, so now you can see that my red is not as red as it was before. So I wanted to mute the tone. And what I'm going to do is go to my lovely little 10/0 round, teensy little bristles, and use that for painting inside the mouth. And same thing, Lauren.
Sorry, I had to.
It's fine. Same thing as before, like we've done with mouths. Don't worry about the fact that there are choppers here. We will address the teeth after the fact. And if you get red on the teeth, that's actually okay because it gives this really cool depth to the teeth and almost this sinister quality to it because some places you might see an undertone of red to it. So it looks like it's taken a fresh bite. So we're going to go in with our now muted Bloody Red and just start painting the inside of our Dargan's mouth.
And we're doing the whole inside and the tongue.
The whole inside, the tongue, and then also there's this lovely little bit here going on that we want to get because that's like the inside of the mouth as well, like the gums. See, we're back to anatomy. What do you call that part of a snake or reptile?
I don't know. I'd call it gums. I mean, it makes sense to me.
Stretchy flap things. I don't think is quite the technical term, but that's where my brain just went.
Chat, we need to know what do you call that part of a Dargan's mouth?
Yeah, what's this called?
For how big this dragon is. Wow, the inside of its mouth is tiny.
Yes, that's why I said don't worry about the twofers because those we can clean up after the fact. But yeah,
it's good because they're gonna be red teeth. It's just gonna happen.
It is. It's the nature of the game. But it's okay. It's also why we're painting the belly after we do the mouth, because then we can do some quick cleanup work around that lower jaw. Because that one's a little bit harder to work around.
Although it's going to be nice, as much as getting the green on this dragon the last time we were painting was super nice and started to really make it feel like this dragon was coming together. Also, it's a lot of green. So already just having this little bit of red right here, just to pop out of the green is really, really nice.
Yeah, that little pop of color.
Yeah. Dangerous cheeks is maybe a vampire. I like that. Tabletop Desk Drive says also called the gum lines, and Crowlin72 says the dangerous bit.
The dangerous bit.
And Rye Guy Sandman says the part you should stay away from. I mean, I think
All valid.
this is all valid. This is all super super good advice and good
Uh-huh.
suggestions.
Chat, I've missed you.
We've missed you so much. We've missed these Fridays.
Amazing. Oh my god, amazing. I
I mean,
love it.
yeah, if we were in a D&D game and I needed to describe a Dargan's mouth and I used any of those terms, everybody'd be like, yeah, all right,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
okay, yeah. That's the technical term? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense to me. Oh, God, that inside of
It's
those chompers.
it is tight.
Yeah, all my teeth are going to be red. That's
That's okay. All together now.
Yeah, all the teeth.
Uh-huh. All
Especially the
teeth, all
roof of the
time.
mouth.
That's
Ooh.
just it. Yeah, I'm about to get there myself and gonna try and poke at it as best I can. So I'm literally gonna like try and thread the needle here. And I'm
Mm.
actually gonna use a stippling action, which
What?
is stippling is where, and I can show you my hand here and people will be disturbed by the fact my hand looks like I bloodied myself. Stippling is this up and down motion.
Ah, like a pokey
And
pokey.
yes, a pokey pokey. And as you stipple, it'll start to cover the surface but give you more control than a sweeping action of a stroking paintbrush motion.
Ah.
But now it just looks like I seriously hurt myself. It looks like the dragon had some fun with me. Kermit
Well, you know,
bites.
considering all the pokey bits on this dragon,
Mm-hmm.
that is not far off from what could be the truth. I
Well,
know.
it's fact. I've been injured by a miniature dragon, so it is a possibility.
Yeah.
Tiamat
Oh
and I
yeah.
had a disagreement. Apparently, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to walk past her.
Well, you know, and Tiamat, I don't know if we could call her really a mini. Uh,
The Maxie. She a Maxie.
yeah. Even the smaller Tiamats that are not that huge one that we've all been seeing
That one?
the last couple of months. Yeah.
That one right
Yeah,
there?
that big.
Yep. Oh, I meant to get some incense and have that doing some incense while we were painting so we could have some fun like smoke breath effects going on from the Tiamat behind me.
Ooh,
Because that's
yeah,
an
that's
incense
cool.
burner. Yeah. That would have been
Also, I'm
fun.
sorry to be laughing, but I looked over and in chat, Keith G was just asking, "Aren't you Orkira? Shouldn't you know this?" Listen, I am not a dragon. I'm dragonborn. I I don't know all the parts of this. Every time I try to heal this, it tries to chomp me. So I don't really care what they're called.
Nope. So
Also, Prince Guinevere does bring up a very good point, which is what part of a dragon isn't the dangerous bit?
right here where they can't turn their head to bite you.
True, but then you got claws.
Okay, fair.
And a tail. So
Maybe not.
yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I always think of dragons as somewhat almost cat-like in motion. So
I can see that. Yeah.
for me, it's like I know because I used to do animal rescue. I know there's this one spot on a cat where you can like quickly grab him and for the most part go unscathed. You can live. If attacked, you can live. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, cats are so many years ago,
Ooh.
I used to work at a doggy daycare and pet boarding facility.
There you
It was a
go.
wonderful place for a non-music, non-TTRPG job. It was good. Everybody who worked there was really nice. We would board cats and dogs, and I learned very, very quickly. I mean, I've always liked cats, but I've never had one. And I've always been, cautious around cats. But what I learned is the reason that I like dogs, because for the most part, not all the time, dogs will warn you before they decide to attack. Dogs will give you some very visible and auditory warnings before you suddenly have teeth. Cats, no.
No.
Cats will just mess
Yeah,
you
this
up
is true. This is true.
for no reason, with no provocation and no warning.
Mm-hmm. There are definitely some cats out there that will.
They
All right.
Them up bloody mouth.
I like it. So we're going to let this dry. But as you can see, the choppers have some bloody red, muted bloody red going on there. So now we're going to do the belly. And for this, we definitely want, let me check my notes, we want goblin green and sun yellow. Because what I'm doing is we use straight up goblin green on the wings here. But I thought it'd be good to have a little bit of a differentiation of greens just to give it some visual interest. So we're going to take this goblin green. We're going to bring it up a little bit more to a warmer yellowy green for the underbelly zone.
All right.
Yeah, this was from looking at pictures of various reptiles and getting ideas, which is something I do often. I will look at real life critters to get ideas for fantasy critters.
I do the same thing, just not for painting. It's just for because I play so many D&D PCs that are not your standard humans. So, what is? I'm going to talk a little bit about owls in a minute. I just saw that. But what is our P to P's ratio?
Let's go 6 P's to 1 P.
Six of the one of
six
the dark
of the goblin,
green,
six of the goblin to 1 of the yellow.
Perfect. All right.
So my yellow is bubbly. There we go.
So yeah, I spent a fair bit of time also over the break looking at pictures of owls because my most recent character is an owlin, and I do that with a lot of my characters. Is like, all right, I did that for Akira. I looked at bunches of lizards and also dragons. I've played Tabaxi, so I looked at cats. So yeah, owlin. All right, let's look at owls. Let's look at cute pictures of owls. Let's look at disturbing pictures of owls without feathers. Whew.
They're scary without their feathers, yo.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oof.
Oh my gosh.
Super scary.
I'm actually gonna add another P worth of yellow. So, add in another P.
Okay.
There we go. That goblin green overpowered a little bit more than I anticipated. There we go.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so now it's almost like
a
dark
do the same.
kiwi is sort of the color we're getting now.
The darkest of kiwis.
Actually, no, it's turning into a pea green. There we go.
I'm okay with that too.
I like the pea green. There we go.
I like the variety of colors. Also, I kind of want a kiwi now.
Kiwis are so good.
I think they're out of season right now, so
might
not be able to give into that sudden urge. But kiwis are so good.
Kiwis are nom. All right, so I'm gonna take clean, fresh water, and I do want to make sure I am thinning this. So I'm just gonna take some drops of paint with a clean brush and just put some droplets near my mix, and then I'm gonna thin the paint out a little bit.
All right.
Because again, we want this to be sort of like skim milk. I'm gonna skim milk.
Do not drink skim milk and eat kiwi at the same time.
Don't do that. No. Although they're great on top of like custards. Kiwis, like if you did a tart, a fruit tart with the kiwis on it. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so yummy.
I've never tried that. I will
Yeah.
when they are back in season.
Yes.
I will have to give that a try.
Yeah.
Skim milk. All right, I think I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay. Now the name of the game is we're going to keep going back to our 10 over 0, and we're going to line around the mouth, and then we can go to our 1 to get the rest of the body. So you can basically use your 10 over 0 to line around where there's other colors and you want to be careful, and then flip to your 1 brush to do the wider swath. Yes. Like it's like coloring book again. Like you trace the line first and then you do like coloring in the bigger parts. Did you do that? And so
this is sometimes when I was good. Not all the time. And we're literally doing from beard all the way to tip of tail with this color, right?
Yep, all the way down the body.
Cool.
Yeah. And don't worry about getting the protrusions because we're going to go back in and paint those little spiky bits.
Ooh, I'm liking how different this color is. I'm liking the variety that we're getting of all these greens. It definitely makes it's definitely something I would not have thought of before I started learning from UV. I learned it from you. But also it adds to that. I mean, once again, these are fantasy creatures, but the reality of what a real kind of creature like this would look like, having, because nothing is ever just one color.
Oh God, no. A lot of times I'll recommend to people if you go and watch, it's funny, there are these artists out there who take canvas, like literal canvas, and then they do acrylic pours. and you'll see how the colors mix and blend together and react to each other. Or they take the acrylics and they create these really cool landscape paintings using colors you wouldn't have realized, yeah, that actually would be in that type of setting. Rainy days, yes, rainy days can have greens in them. Those are kind of a neat way to sort of see how else paint can be used in unexpected ways and colors, and you still get really cool results. So those are fun to watch. I have found if you're trying to get a feel for color theory and how colors interact and work with each other. And they're super soothing. Oh my gosh. Like normally they have like lovely soft music playing in the background and there are these sweeping motions and watching the colors kind of puddle and pool around each other. Yeah, they're like visual ASMR.
Nice.
Yeah.
I will definitely look those up because sometimes having that kind of thing in the background while I'm doing other stuff is really nice. Speaking of other things going on, let me grab some more questions from chat. Not really a question, but we've got Rick, aka Tabletop Santa, is in chat saying, "It was great seeing you at PAX Unplugged, even if it was briefly." Yes, it was good to see you. I hope everybody had a wonderful experience and then came home safe and sound. The Lurking Writer says, "Trivia. Ooh. Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon was based on the lead animator's cat. The part of the film where Toothless tries to shake off the tail fin contraption was based on the animator taping something to their cat's tail and filming the ensuing aftermath." You know what? That doesn't surprise me.
I'm here for that little factoid because that's honestly one of my favorite parts because of how much it reminded me of a cat. So this makes so much more sense right now.
There you go. Also, now I have to go back and look because normally for an animated movie, you don't have to worry about the end credits. No animals were harmed in the making of this movie. My guess is it was pretty harmless. It was just, taping a piece of paper and the cat just being like,
yeah,
as cats do.
Cats can be extreme because I have 3 of them.
You have 2 cats and a ball of purring, loving fur that just likes to sit on top of you. because it hasn't happened during a paint and slay, but spoiler alert for those of you who don't come to any other meetings that we have, V on a regular basis just has a cat like lying on her shoulders, just hanging out, being happy.
Yep. Hemingway, because actually 2 of them, Hemingway and Rory, will both be cuddly. Rory is very much on her terms. But when she wants cuddle, you saw it this morning. She kept like putting her little paw on my leg and standing up on her hind legs, like, please pick me up and love me.
Yep.
Could not say no to that because it was too dang sweet. But I have a Maine Coon named Hemingway. He's a gray tabby variety, and he's got 6 and 7 on the front and 5 in the back for his paws because he's polydactyl. Hence Hemingway.
Thus the Hemingway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hence the Hemingway cat. But he will actually drape across my shoulders like a stole. This lovely, warm, living stole. And he's been to a few streams in that capacity.
Well, as I like to say, most good streams have technical difficulties and or a cat.
Yep. This is true.
And we are lucky enough to have had both.
There we go.
Cats and technical difficulties are just the thing. Although now, since the pandemic, dogs have also become much more a usual occurrence, but cats are definitely, as we've discussed, harder to tell no to. Harder to convince.
We have witnessed a cat delete a couple slides in a presentation live.
Yes. Oh, that cat.
Oh my god.
Oh, that cat. Okay.
Just that we all said that, like, what happened?
Speaking of cats, Graphic Wolf said we did have one cat that would give you a warning punch, though. One right hook without claws was it. You got your one punch cat, and then the rest of it was, well, you're gonna die now.
Yep, you get the 1, watch out for the 2.
Ooh. That's still impressive that you had a cat that would give you the heads up. I appreciate that cat.
Yes, greatly. So yeah, I'm basically just playing the edge game right now. So I'm still on my 10/0, and I'm just going around and painting around things like the plates here to bring this paint color out so that when I go in with my 1 brush, there's a little bit of a buffer area, like a border, if you will.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm going to do.
the belly isn't nearly as expansive as, say, the wings,
No.
but I definitely can see the appeal of having the border so that
Mm-hmm.
when we go to the larger brush, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, it's basically your insurance policy.
Yeah, just
I
so we
have
don't have to
found.
be
Yeah.
remixing other colors.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I'm trying so hard not to use my thinking paint face.
Oh, I've just given up. Listen,
I just
I have video of me out there playing the oboe, and I have oboe face, and guess what? It is not an attractive.
no.
No one looks attractive playing a wind instrument. It doesn't happen,
No.
and especially an oboe. So I have gotten, I have just no qualms about how I look on camera anymore because guess what? After oboe face, everything looks better than oboe
There you go.
face. So I'm sure my painting face is nothing as bad as the weird sourpuss faces that I've made when playing the oboe.
Fair. So you'll see there's this little bit under here in the arm that I'm going to attack that I've left open. If you did not,
Yeah.
that's totally cool, but that's what I'm going to go in and do now while I have the smaller brush going. And just tuck up and in. And I may have to pull this off camera in a second because the wing keeps hitting my camera. Yeah, I have to go.
Yeah.
I have to go off camera because there's no way I can get that angle with the camera in my face.
Yeah. When you're done, I'll take a look because I know we intentionally left some of those
Mm-hmm.
legs as bare as not as bare as possible, but like we left bits of legs
Open. Yeah.
to have this color added to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. A little bit of an exposed spot. Here.
and meanwhile, I will keep going down the
There you go.
tail because
So here you go.
oh yeah, like that inner
The soft, like the soft, fleshy part of inside the leg
yeah.
that doesn't have plates on it is what I did with this. It's going to carry down the side, and then it's going to go over that the thumb claw on the front. The dew claw? I don't know.
Sure. I mean, if we're going to keep the cat analogy going, why not?
Yeah, the dew claw section. Just cause I wanna.
But the actual claw will be
A different color, yeah. The claw
okay.
itself will be black. I'm looking at the fleshy part. Just to kind of give it some interest.
Yeah, I mean, there's not many soft bits on a dragon, so
Ooh.
might as well highlight them when we can.
Mm-hmm.
Um, people in chat, including a fallen angel, are now asking to see the cat.
Oh boy.
Not right now. I mean, we're so far we're painting a cat. That's what's going on right now.
Also, the cats in question, the one likes to chew on brushes and the other one chews on headphone cords. I have both out right now. There will be no painting happening if I bring them into the room.
Yeah, that's a double whammy. That's a double bit of a problem.
They're not so good with the paint supply streams. They're fine for game streams, but painting streams, nope.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Especially because they both jump up on my lap without any warning, so that can get to be a fun situation too. Like, I'm gonna love you, and then there's paint on everything.
Hey V, why does your cat have a streak of green in their fur? Well, let me show you my Dargan.
Mm-hmm. Let me show you my cat.
Dargan cat. Oh, and we have more toothless facts from the Lurking Writer. There's a making of documentary that has a side-by-side footage of the cat and Toothless. I may have to look that up.
Is this on Disney Plus, perhaps?
Might be on Disney Plus or something like that. They might have actually put out like as a little featurette on YouTube. So I will definitely be looking for that because that sounds amazing.
You and me both. I like this idea.
And I like that with any animation when you get a chance to see their reference next to the animation because it is super fascinating to me to see how closely artists and animators can get to the way live action looks, and then like the little subtle things that they pick up on that they make larger than life in order to in order to highlight certain
Yeah.
things, because in animation, especially if there's going to be a certain style to it, you're not necessarily looking for something that is realistic,
Right.
but then going after like, oh, they're really highlighting the way that the feet are positioned and move in this.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got green on the plate on the tail, and I gotta
Oh
do the thing and where I put water on it and tell it to
no.
go
Yeah.
away.
Yep. Luckily, the water trick should help in this case. What was I
Yeah.
watching? I was watching something about Encanto, and the dance sequence. The person who was doing the animation for it, they actually took a bed sheet so they could see what the fabric of those lovely full skirts would do in motion. And so,
Ooh.
like, they recorded themselves swishing the fabric like you would swish the skirt, so they could capture the flow
Oh, that's
of
cool.
those lovely voluminous skirts.
I remember there's a similar thing probably to what the lurking writer is talking about with the cat, with the animated movie Hercules,
Mm.
with the muses that do the song and dance number at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They just had those actresses because they can sing and dance because
There you
they're
go.
musical theater people.
Yep.
They choreographed the whole thing, and then they just did it.
I love it.
And so there is video out there, and I think they they probably sang it separately and then were lip syncing along to their while they were dancing,
Mm-hmm.
but they just performed in bits and pieces the whole thing,
Oh, wow.
and it's super cool. It's super fun not only to see the comparison of like what we were talking about, but also to just watch these super talented
Yes.
ladies just go at this song, which is kick ass. So it was super cool. Definitely look for that while we're looking up musical numbers.
I absolutely will. I love stuff like that. I'm always curious how other artists get from their point A to point B.
Yeah.
It's just so fascinating to me and so wonderful to be able to get little glimpses behind the curtains.
Yeah. Well, and that's why to bring it back to painting minis. That's why this is so much fun, because do I ever think I'm going to get to the point that I am painting minis so that they are super professional quality, what you'd buy in a store? No, but it's fun to see the process and all the techniques that you're using, and give it a try and be like, hey, I learned how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. And we were talking a bit this morning about the announcement that came out about Tiamat. So WizKids announced that massive $400 Tiamat, they're putting out a version of that one unpainted.
Paint it yourself.
And I have to admit, I want to do that so bad.
Empty.
Like, it would have been super cool to have the painted Tiamat. I'm not gonna lie. But like, I don't usually use I'm a theater of the mind player mostly, and that kind of becomes a display piece to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And so I was like, it'd be cool to have, but I'm not going to go out of my way. But the idea of buying that thing and then me and my partner working on painting that for the next year. And then not only having a giant Tiamat that we could enjoy, but a giant Tiamat that we can go, we painted that.
Yeah.
Like, that becomes a really cool display piece.
It does.
So
that
I might be keeping it.
Conversation starter display piece.
Exactly. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that.
There you go. There you go.
I think I'm at the point where I'm going to switch over to the bigger brush.
Yeah, I'm almost there. I'm still working on the inner legs.
Yeah, I just kind of got around the leg, and I've reached the point where having the bigger brush, I think, is going to be helpful.
Yeah, well.
This is going to sound like a weird question.
No such thing.
The hole that the mount goes into, how careful do we need to be not to get paint in the hole?
You don't want to get too much paint in the hole, because then it'll affect the fit of the post that goes into the hole.
That's what I thought.
Yes. If you, by chance, and this is something that can happen, if by chance you do get too much paint in the hole, shoot.
I know. That's why I prefaced this. That's why I was like, it's gonna be a weird question. It's a question that we need to answer, though.
That's gonna be a clip. If you by chance get too much, all you need to do is get a cotton swab, also known as a Q-tip, if you're a brand person, and you can go in with some nail polish remover, acetone based, that is important, acetone based, or 90% rubbing alcohol. And you can remove the excess that got built up here in the opening of your connection point. So if for some reason you oops-a-daisy and you get a glob of paint in there, that's honestly the easiest way to do it. So take either 90% rubbing alcohol on a cotton swab, or you can do acetone-based nail polish remover and just carefully swab out the inside. Be careful that you don't get, especially with the acetone, that you don't get it on the outer portion where you have already painted, or be ready to repaint. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So
Which
yeah.
at least around that little bit right there, that's not
That's
the
not
end
too
of the
bad.
world if you've got to
Yeah.
repaint.
Yeah.
Although this was a paint that we mixed, so
Yeah, you can even do it like as it's happening type of thing.
yeah.
But yeah, so it's a very good question.
Yeah, as I was doing the edging around where that connection point is, I'm like, this is the thing I should probably watch out for.
Yes, you were correct.
Even if it was going to cause snickering. I know.
I do it to myself so often, though. I say something completely not thinking, totally innocent, and then I hear myself as the words are coming out and it's too late. Those are my wait moments. And the joy of being a streamer when you do this, there are many clips of my wait moments floating around out there on Twitchland.
Hey, listen, we're just talking about the hole in the base of a dragon.
Yep.
That's all.
Nothing to see here.
Are we getting any of this color on the back legs? I seem to remember that we had. Okay.
Yep. Here's the two back legs. I just got those finished up. So there and there on the other side.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah and yeah.
I'm gonna go back. I just grabbed the big brush, but I'm going back to the small brush for that.
Nothing wrong with that. You can toggle if you need to.
I need to do all the toggling.
Toggle.
Ooh, more questions.
I like questions.
Kvob asks, are you doing the color palette from a picture or freestyling?
I am sourcing from the official artwork from Dungeons and Dragons. And then, as I said before, I will look at the official artwork to get it as close to the artwork as I want to, could possibly. But I also will reference in real life creatures for things like this, because it's not as much of a differentiation between what's going on the belly as there is on the wings in the official artwork. But for a 3D creature like this, not a lovely art rendition in a book page, it kind of helps to bring in a couple more additional colors than what is exactly in the book, just to kind of heighten it.
Yeah, and we've got the extra added bonus, as you can see on the screen below where V is painting, examples of the green dragon in Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. And which is, of course, using the official art and kind of extrapolating from there for something that'll look good with our game and our art style. For obviously with Trials of Mount Tiamat, there are Dargans everywhere, but specifically if you're looking for other places where you can find the young green dragon, if you are playing through the Witchlight campaign, there's the Witchlight Carnival variant, which is a dragon against us, which has the young green dragon. And so the images are down there that you can look at, and we're using those as reference, which they have a bunch of this lovely different coloring on the wings.
There's like 5-6 different greens floating around in there.
Yeah. And it's going to be a tiny little detail, but I'm really excited about that blue eye.
It's going to be fun. We'll do that next week.
Yeah, that is a when we're almost done kind of thing, because I'm sure that's going to be a tiny little brush and a tiny little dot.
Well, and a holding of the breath for a count of 10.
Yeah, definitely.
And breathe.
All those eyes. Although this eye is not too bad as far as like tininess. This might be one of those you've recommended the toothpick before.
Yeah, you want to do the toothpick trick?
I might use the toothpick.
Okay.
Just to be really, really, really accurate, because I liked that the last time we did it.
So then let's use the toothpick trick when we go to paint the eyeball next week.
And hey, I've got 100 of them, so.
I mean, there you go. Okay, I am going to shift to the big brush on my side because I just finished edging all around.
Okay. I'm still working on legs. So
I'm still painting. Sorry.
picking up the pieces of my Dargan after all this time.
I love painting with you.
I love painting with you too. We're having too much fun. Thank you, chat, for indulging us in our painting joy. Speaking of chat,
Yes.
Desertin says almost every wind instrument. I've never seen a person playing saxophone looking anything other than amazing. Here's the key to the saxophone. You and clarinet can get this as well. You can bite down on that mouthpiece. You're supposed to bite down on that mouthpiece, and so you can move around a lot more. Go find yourself a classical saxophonist. Go listen to Ravel's Bolero or watch a video of a professional Ravel's Bolero. They're not moving as much. You'll see the funny faces. It's not as funny. They're better. They're better than flutes and oboes and bassoons, but it's still funny. It's that. But usually when you get to see like saxophonists and clarinets outside of classical music, they're like in a rock setting or in a pop setting or doing klezmer music, and they get to move around because they get to use their teeth.
Yeah.
I'm not at all jealous.
No. I'm not picking up a hint of jealousy whatsoever.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. Also, I've never gotten to play any of those fun saxophone riffs that end up being memes all over the internet. Although I should give it a try.
There you go.
Oh yes, and the Lurking Writer clarified the song that I was talking about from the beginning of Hercules, Zero to Hero, which is such a good song. Such a fun song.
I won't. No copyright striking.
No copyright strikes. Why'd your painting show get copyright struck for music?
Because we keep singing.
We were talking about music, and then it was Hercules, and then we were there. Oh, Zero to Hero? Yeah, we all sing that song.
Mm-hmm.
That song is so much fun.
It's now running in my head, so if you see me like bopping my head around, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm singing that to myself.
Ooh, we've got Ruiner2077 in chat. I'm a professional house painter. Been painting minis for 20 plus years. Almost got a Games Workshop job from a homie to paint. Love seeing this kind of content. Oh, welcome.
Excellent. Hello.
That is super cool.
Wait, what was the screen name again?
Ruiner2077.
Hey, Ruiner, have you ever been over to the Crafting Muse? I swear that's a very familiar name from old streams I used to do. And they were a house painter.
There you go. Maybe. All right. So now I want to know, are there house painting techniques that you can bring over to painting minis and vice versa? Like, yes, scale is so much different, but I bet you there's knowledge about painting in general that is useful for both. So,
oh yeah.
I love the idea of you being painting a house and turning to your fellow painters and saying like, yeah, I learned how to do that while painting a Dargan.
There you go. I mean, well, I've painted miniature houses and similar things like edging and whatever, like you would for molding.
You're just using bigger brushes.
Exactly.
And slightly different paint, I'd assume.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's latex paint all said and done, but yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so I have the undercarriage all paintified.
I've got a few spots on this leg that I'm still struggling with here.
This one looks like he's doing a barrel roll as I'm trying to show off the belly slowly, but it's like sorry folks.
Oh my god, next time I play a dragon now, I want an excuse to make plane noises. That's gonna be the best. I'm gonna do it. You'll be like, and here comes a dragon.
No.
And then if it's a dragon that has no sense of its inflated ego,
oh Lord,
I want the dragon to be making that noise. I'm gonna strafe the town. Here I come.
I love it. I'm here for this.
Oh my god, I want to have a fake dragon attack, and where the dragon is like pretending to attack a town for whatever reason, and so it's trying to make it look more fearsome, and so it's making attack run noises.
Okay.
I can do this. I can come up with a reason for this to happen.
I have full and complete faith in you being able to do just that. Please do.
It would have to be like a bronze or a brass dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the bronze or the brass that do the jokes that are the practical jokers? I can't
Isn't
remember.
that
I always get them
brass?
mixed up. Might be brass. Whichever the ones are the practical jokers,
Yeah.
those are the ones. That's the
There
one
we
that
go.
I have to be like.
I like how we've just basically turned into like kids playing with toys at this point.
I'm okay with that.
I'm good. I'm totally fine.
All right.
Okay.
I think I have finished undercarriage.
Undercarriage. Okay, so what I think will be fun to do is let us start. Yeah, let's do some dry brushing first before we do talons and claws, because I realize that if we dry brush and we have green going on, those talons and claws are going to take on interesting colors. So we know that our dark green and our wings are nice and dry because it's been a couple weeks. So let us start with let's start with the darker green section and doing dry brushing on that to bring out more of these details, these lovely details through here, and then we'll go to the wings, and then at that point we should be able to do the underbelly, is my hope. That's
Sounds
the game
like a plan.
That's our plan of attack. So what we're gonna do for this dry brush is we're gonna go back to dark green, which is a nice classic emerald green for those of you using different color paints at home than the Vallejo game color line. So take that, and then we're going to mix in some bronze flesh tone to lighten the tone up a little bit, and also kind of give it a more worn look to the skin as opposed to brand spanking new. Because, hold on. Come here, darling.
There's my bronze. Uh-oh.
Here comes
There's
Mama.
my bronze flesh tone, by the way.
Yes. As you can see here, there are these.
Ooh.
Yeah. And well, this is too big for me to get under camera from the miniature painting sense, but there's my reasoning. So we're going to take the green. Yeah, dark green. And let's say, I'm going to do like 4 peas. And start with 2 peas. So 2 to 1 part.
Okay. Yeah, because dry brushing doesn't use that much paint, but we have a lot to cover.
We have a lot to cover. Oh, my paints are very bubbly today.
So have mine. Is it just because we haven't done this in...
Possibly, yeah.
Might be the shaking, too.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see if this gets me the color that I want. Nice thing about when you go in to mix your colors like this, if you realize you're like, don't like, it's very easy just to mix a different color blend.
There you go.
Using the paints we have. Ta-da.
So mine is still kind of doing like a pea-ish green. So more of the bronze flesh tone, you think?
Less of if it's going too close to the previous green, then you want to add more of the dark green to it.
Okay.
Because I'm actually happy with that color blend.
Yeah,
So
yours
it's not quite,
yours is a much
yeah.
lighter green. Mine kind of went a little pea.
Yeah. And if you're saying, well, why didn't you just add white? Reason I'm not going straight with white in this one is because the dark green is more of a cool tone green. So if I go in with a straight white, it's going to create this very light, almost seafoam bluish green, which I don't want to introduce into a dragon that has more warm tone greens in use. So by adding in a light yellowish color to the dark green, you then end up with a light, warmer tone green that will still complement the original green.
And since it has now been several weeks since we've had a show, and we might have some new people in the chat who are watching, and this is the first time we've done dry brushing in 2022,
Woohoo.
Would you give us the dry brushing primer?
So dry brushing is basically you take a flat brush like so, and you dip in just a little bit into your paint. And what you're not going to do is go right in and just, my hand's going to get painted today, folks. You don't go in and you don't just start painting right away. Because when you do that, you get full coverage, which is what you don't want to have happen with dry brushing. Dry brushing is basically, you go back in. No, that's been my blotting paper towel. Let me get my other paper towel. So you're going to go in once you have dipped the brush, and you're going to take a clean paper towel, and you're just going to pull the excess paint off so that when you go in to your miniature, and I'm using my hand because hands have lovely textures to them, when you go in and you drag the brush lightly across, what it does is start bringing out the texture of the miniature, but not painting the area completely. So that is what dry brushing is. It takes a little practice to get used to. The biggest thing is it's always easier to go back over with more paint. It is very hard to take away excess paint when you go in to do dry brush.
Yeah.
So little by little.
That is what I have learned for sure.
So I'm going to go in with my flat brush. Now I am using this lovely dry brush that Redgrass Games sent me. It does a fantastic job with dry brushing. Lauren has the Mod Podge Ultra line, or just the Mod Podge line. And I think that's the number 4 flat, or is that the 2 flat?
This is the 2. I went with
flat.
the smaller one.
Okay, so that's the 2 flat that Lauren will be using. So the other thing you want to do is when you're dry brushing is you want to work against the grain of the detail. So what I'm not going to do, because I see I have all these little ridges right here, I am not going to pull the brush this way because that's going to fall into those ridge points. I'm going to pull the brush this way so it runs against those lines. So that's the other thing you need to keep in mind when you're doing dry brushing. And yes, I spoke too long and my paintbrush dried, so I need a reboot.
That's okay. These are good
happens.
instructions for everybody to have. So thank you for doing that.
Not a problem.
And as we get into our dry brushing, we've got some updates from chat. First, from Ruiner 2077. I'm also an artist, so the painting skills all go hand in hand. But with some house painting, a little less on the brush can go further than more. Same with minis. Ooh, very cool. And then the Lurking Writer says using a 9-inch roller on minis could be considered overkill. Yes. I don't know, though, if you're working on Tiamat, maybe not.
I mean, you know, there are some sections.
Yeah, just go for the 9-inch roller. Why not?
It sounds like a band, 9-inch roller.
And finally, Ruiner did say that they have not been by the crafting streams, but would love to check those out. More stuff like this. I've got an unpainted Chaos Space Marines army in my attic. I could dig out and paint on stream too. Ooh.
There you go.
Chaos Space Marines. Yes, if anyone would like to join along, since it's been a little bit, I will if you would like to join us with exactly what we're doing, which you don't have to, we try to, V does a very good job of explaining a lot of these techniques so that you can use them with whatever mini you are painting. Yes. But what we are working on, you can always find the details in our Discord, discord.gg/idlechampions. I know everybody's going to now make fun of me, but that's my job. I'm trying to remember if we've announced the next couple of minis. We're going to be working on this dragon for one more week after this, probably. Yeah. Probably one more week. And then I believe we are going to do speed painting skeletons.
Yeah. Speedy skellies.
Yeah, I'll get that information into chat so that everybody can start picking up their skeletons. If I haven't put it into the Discord yet, I'll make sure that that's up shortly. And the reason we're calling it speed painting skeletons is because all of the minis that we've done so far have been 2 to 4 episodes of fun. Yes. Which is really nice because we get to take our time, and V has been explaining a lot of these techniques. But the skeletons, we can do them in one day. One 2-hour episode. Yep.
It's a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, I'm excited.
1-2 punch. I'm excited for it too.
So I looked away. You're doing this all over all the leg?
All the leg where there's dark green present.
Okay. Both legs.
Both legs, front, back, all the legs.
Very cool.
It's getting interesting with angles.
And we got MT Rage 70 says, when you are painting smaller figures, do you ever use any type of magnifying glass? And if so, what type do you recommend?
I, for some reason, don't do well with the glasses that are specifically made for that. It gives me like this weird vertigo thing. What I have found helps is I actually have reader glasses. So just straight up readers like this, which I will pop on, and I keep it lower on the bridge of my nose, and I will use that, and that gives me enough of a boost that I can see things a little bit more fine details that way. But there are also magnifying glasses that can hang up and over, kind of like how I have my camera positioned, but it would be the magnifying glass for you. You can opt to do that too if you want. That's another helpful way to kind of see things a little bit more closely. Quite frankly, if I have something that is like really fine detail and I need to see it best, I will go to a window where there is a bunch of natural sunlight. And I have found for me personally, that has been my go to surefire way of painting things with finer details.
And it hasn't been mini painting, but for reed making for oboes, because as a professional oboist, we do make our own reeds. I have used some magnifying stuff. I don't currently own one because they're kind of expensive. Um, I I will say, whatever it is you need to be comfortable when doing any of this kind of fine work, do it. So if a magnifying glass works, go for it. If finding reader glasses work, go for it. If just being slightly more conscious about like positioning and posture
Yeah.
work, whatever you got to do so that you're not straining and having problems seeing what you're doing,
Yeah.
absolutely do it. Be comfortable while you are doing that kind of thing. But yeah, I found personally the magnifying glasses were kind of nice. Like I had access to one of those that set up on a table that you could look through. But what happened was there's only so many ways that I could position that device.
Yeah.
And it wasn't in a way that was comfortable for me where I wanted to be able to sit. So I just found, yeah, finding better lighting solutions, taking a few more breaks so that if I'm feeling that strain, either whether it's eye strain or, oh, I'm sitting comfortably, but you can only sit that way for so long.
Right.
That also helps. So
Absolutely.
no specific suggestions for you, but definitely give them a try. And if you do find something you like, let us know, because I'm sure there will be other people who
Yeah.
would be just as interested.
Okay, so I've gotten the ow, it just bit me. Sorry. I just got a talon in my finger. So this is the
Hermie,
side
no.
where I've done the dry brushing. So you can see that. Now keep that image in mind because this is the side that didn't have the dry brushing. And you can see the color's a little bit more flat as a result. So that's why I am a big fan of the dry brush, because it helps bring out those higher details and just add a little bit more visual interest to your mini.
And we're going to do this up the back and then up the wings
back
where
and
the
on the wings.
darker.
Yeah, wherever that darker green is, you want to dry brush that. What I'm going to do for this right here with just these little bone protrusion-y things, I am just lightly going to take the corner of my dry brush and run it across very lightly, feather lightly, just to kind of get the high point. Really quick. Same thing over here. Ooh, we're gonna fight a little bit. There we go, with the thumb. So that's what I'm gonna do for the wings, for those protrusions that happen over there.
Yeah, because even those tiny little wing ridges have a surprising amount of detail on them.
They really, really do.
And just grabbing a highlight or two.
Yep.
Like it might be hard to see on camera, especially my camera since it's not set up for the mini painting. But like looking at it just as I'm doing, I'm like, oh, that does make a very subtle but very important difference.
Yeah.
Also, as I'm doing this, I'm also finding like a nook and a cranny in where I might have missed a spot, and it's definitely helping with the missing of spots.
Yes.
Of like, oh,
Spot
that's
chaser.
a tiny little. Oh yeah.
Spot chasers. They're good. We like them.
And oh wow, a lot more questions came on in.
Yeah.
Traveler Farlander says, I'm imagining a dramatic dragon flying in, singing "Ride of the Valkyries." Yes.
There we go.
Or in this weird moment in my D&D game that I now need to make happen, the dragon is making strafing noises and airplane type noises, and they're working with a bard who's on their back, who's playing "Ride of the Valkyries."
Even better.
I don't know where this is going to happen, but I'm going to make it happen.
I'm here for it.
I don't know how this is going to happen. Let's see.
Ooh.
Oh, Ruiner 2077 says that is a better dry brushing instruction than I've been able to give. Oh my God, I want to paint a Tiamat now.
Ooh.
Oh,
Well, thank you.
well, hey, I want to paint a Tiamat now too. Uh, Clark 151, would you be willing to do one portion of the dragon with dry brushing technique and leave the opposing side untouched to illustrate the finished difference? I might not have read that in time, but you did do a bit of that already.
I'm kind of doing it right now. I am actually painting the one side, and then I'm gonna, flip, um, so that people can see the difference between the two.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially since you've got the better camera
Yeah.
for the close-up stuff, that's going to show
Yeah.
off really well in your
It
camera.
will. It definitely will. Yeah, I have been focusing on this side first so I can flip over and you can see the difference between the two sides.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna flip over to other wing.
Flip it over. Okay.
I also realized in the middle of one wing that I'm like, oh yeah, there's a bottom to the wing.
There's other parts of the wing. Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I should do the bottom of the wing too.
All them nooks and crannies.
Yeah, this Dargan. This Dargan is all over the place.
Yep. Okay, so I pretty much have the one side done with dry brushing on the dark green. So here it is with dark green, dry brushed. Okay. Mental picture. Go click. Mental click. And here it is without the dry brush on it.
You know, it's not just that it brings out some more of the details, it's also it adds that kind of that cohesive layer because without the dry brushing, especially the dark green really really stands out like as in stark contrast.
Yes.
And then just adding this little bit of dry brushing not only brings out details, but it just softens the dark green just enough.
Yep. And that was fully intentional.
It's like you're a professional at this or something.
It's like I know what's going to happen.
It's like you know what you're doing.
Concept. So that's the difference between the two.
Awesome.
One side, the other side. So I'm going to get this side now done.
Whereas I've been going back and forth, and I probably should have done one
totally
side,
okay.
other side.
No. You can honestly, like, toggling around does not affect the end result, quite frankly.
It doesn't until you go, oh, shit.
Did I get that side?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the moment I'm having, especially with the underside of wings, and where I'm like, oh, yeah, wings at a bottom. But yeah, I'm starting to work on the spine up the back, the spine of the world. Let's see. Desertin, I was just about to ask if you had some tips for eyes on minis. Never happy with the result. The white ends up not complementing the character minis' cloth and skin color, and they end up looking weirdly large and unnatural in contrast to the rest of the minis. Gonna try out toothpicks next time. Yes. Okay. So yeah, come by next time when we do the toothpick thing. It was a revelation to me too. Oof.
Now I can also help you out here because you just said you went in with the white. Now, when you go and do eye sockets, especially in humanoid creatures, you actually don't start off with stark white. That's why you start getting an anime-esque appearance to it. What you really want to do in your eye sockets is go in with either, depending on how brave you feel, if you want it to have more of like an intense, almost eyeliner-like edge to it, you go in with black into the eye socket area. Then you put your white in, then you do your iris, then you do your pupil. If you want it to be more of a subtle transition between the white and the socket tone, go in with a brown, and you paint in your entire socket brown, and then you go in and you do your iris, or your the white of the eyes work. Then you would do the iris, then you do the pupil. And by putting that darker base color underneath the pure white, you get a nice little differentiation between the skin tone and the eye without it being a stark contrast. Yeah.
That all makes sense.
Yep.
And we'll be doing some of that next week for sure, because we don't want this Dargan to look anime.
No. If anything, what we'll probably do is do a because we're gonna go with that blue that we see going on below.
Yeah.
So we'll do a base of black in the socket and then blue. That should give it like a really neat effect. But hopefully that helped with a little quick tip for tricks on eyes.
I mean, I know that helped me. I don't even remember which mini we were painting. These just like toothpicks.
I think it was the
That's
beholder.
perfect.
It had to have been the
Yep.
beholder. With
Beholder
all
makes
those
sense.
eyes.
Yeah, because while we were being a little ridiculous with the beholder, we definitely didn't want to go anime.
Mm-hmm.
So we were and in fact, if I remember correctly, we were while it was a ridiculous it was the Xanathar clown beholder, so
Mm-hmm.
it was on the ridiculous side. We were definitely trying to keep it menacing. Yeah, yep,
Yeah.
there it is. There it is. So we're
I
definitely
don't know. Do we
trying
do
to
something? Yeah. Somewhere we did
I
the
think I
toothpicks.
think it was oh yeah.
Because those
Was it
eyes
the
were slit.
mitochondriads?
Maybe the myconids.
The myconids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe the myconids. Might have been the myconids. Oh, my myconid.
Oh well, we'll be doing it again next week.
Exactly. Join us
We'll be
next time, folks.
for Toothpick Joy.
Dun dun.
All right.
Almost there.
Me Shark 1025 says, "Can Brig be the bard? I'd like to see him riff Ride of the Valkyries on his lute."
I'm here for this.
I would like to see that too.
I'm here for this canon.
Ooh, I'm gonna put the dragon down
Okay.
because I'm pretty much done, and then also I just need to double check that I get to announce something. I'm excited.
Ooh. Okay. Yes. Put
Yeah.
the dragon down.
Put the dragon down. So
Step
if you have something
away
else
from
you
the
want to talk
dragon.
about, V, go for it. Now's the time. I'm just gonna make.
So I need to vamp.
Well,
I know.
I
Yes.
trust your vamping ability.
Do. So, anyways, once we get the dark green taken care of, we're going to sweep into the wings, and we're going to work with a slightly lighter green in the wing area because obviously the goblin green is a lighter green too. And that way it gives us even more variation to the colors, which will be a lot of fun. And here's what I mean, like it doesn't hurt to go back over and do a little bit more because I had some already going on this leg, but I'm noticing I want to bring out the details a little bit more. So I went back over and doing a little bit more dry brush on an area that I've already covered, and yeah, I'm happier with that result.
Good. Well, I am happy because we get to announce a thing. So first off, welcome to all the new people in chat who've come over from the game or from other places. I see TTRP Gifts in chat. I see Cypher of Tyr in chat. I see Urban Bohemian in chat. I feel like
I'm hearing a lot of friends' names in chat.
I know there's a ton of friends in chat, which is why also thank you for subscribing, Cypher of Tyr. That was very nice. Enjoy your emotes. And I get to talk about a cool thing. So I can't say a lot, but there is a new show coming on Monday. That's right. This Monday at 5:00 is the launch of a familiar quest. What is a familiar quest? Well, I will say that Todd is the dungeon master of a familiar quest. That kind of gives you an idea of what it might be. You should be finding out more information in the coming hours and days, but if you do want to find out more, you're going to have to follow our social media, and you're going to have to keep an eye out in chats and on Twitter and fun things. But yes, on Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific, a brand new show is coming to the channel that we are all super excited about.
Oh.
So keep an eye out for our familiar quest. Yay!
I'm
excited.
so giddy over that one.
Yeah. So no other details for the moment, but
nothing further, darlings.
More coming soon. Our Mondays are getting busy. So I'm excited about that. And then I've got most of the dry brushing, I think, done.
I'm good too. Okay, so let us make sure we rinse this brush well.
Yep.
Pardon my hiccup, and then blot it dry on a clean paper towel, separate paper towel than your dry brushing paper towel. Because what you don't want to have happen is the water from your paintbrush bristles to flow down, and all of a sudden you don't have dry brushing happening anymore. You have glazing happening, and that's a different thing entirely.
I was gonna say you don't have dry brushing, you have wet brushing, but
yeah,
that also makes sense.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Also, I love how whenever we do what I have discovered, and it might just be a me thing, I always end up for dry brushing dipping too much paint on my paintbrush.
Mm-hmm.
And so before I even go to the paper towel, I end up wiping some of it off on the paper plate. And so you can always tell when it's been my
Yep.
turn to dry brush because I look like I'm doing some kind of really bad Jackson Pollock
I like
impression
it though.
on my paper plate. Just
Good.
like streaks of paint, but hey,
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to Goblin Green.
Goblin green.
This Goblin Green, which is a mossy green for those of you using other generic colors. So mossy greens. We're gonna take the Goblin Green and we're gonna take Bone White, which notice it is not a pure white, it's actually a very light tan. And we're going to blend those two together to do the texture on the wings and the fin. So I'm going to start off with, let's say 4 parts to 1 part to start.
4 parts green, 1 part,
1 part
bone white.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. My bone white, I need to take care of that nozzle. It is getting dirty.
Oh, you need a pin for the...
No, it's
Okay.
there's some weird pressure thing. This happens sometimes in these eyedropper bottles. There's like weird pressure that's built up in it. So every time I open the cap, it actually just starts to erupt. So I need to go in and I need to there's like a bubble in there I need to get to come out
Yeah.
first.
Kind of the opposite of what I was talking about, which is every
Yeah.
once in a while I go to open it up and I squeeze and nothing happens. It's that awful moment of, oh, I don't want to squeeze too hard
Yeah.
because then I'm gonna get sprayed.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I
It's
am going to
gonna
go
happen.
in with a little bit more of the bone white. Okay, you can calm down now, sir. Good Lord, stop.
What color are we aiming for here?
We're aiming for, how am I going to describe this color? Celery. Closer to a celery green, like a nice healthy green celery. Let's call it that.
Oh, also, Urban Bohemian is lurking for nail painting, and I'm like, we've got house
Ooh.
painting, nail painting, mini painting. I love that everybody's
here
here
for it.
just for painting joy. This is
Yes,
great.
Me too.
No,
Okay.
not quite the same thing, but as we've now learned, painting is painting, and a lot of the techniques really help with everything. So, all right, so this is for, you said, the wings.
Yeah, I'm actually, you know what? This is why I say you have to sometimes pause and keep going. I'm going to add in a little bit more of the bone white. I want this just a touch lighter than what I have going.
Okay.
It's not
Then
quite
you know
at the
what, I'm
light
gonna join
celery that I'm going for. I'm aiming towards a nice celery green, and I'm not quite there yet.
I'll join you a little bit more because I think mine was matching what you had,
Yeah.
and so let me.
Okay, there we go. Yep. So it was actually like 4 parts to 3 parts is what it ended up being. Or 2 to 1 if you want to break it down to a smaller ratio.
There we go. A slightly more watery
Yes, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, almost like wasabi now that I'm looking at it. I'm
Oh,
getting a
yeah.
wasabi vibe from that.
You know what? I think wasabi is an even better explanation for this
Yeah.
color.
Okay, so now I'm going to go in with this lighter green. Same dry brush is what we're going to be doing. And these wings have fantastic texture. And we're going to just pull this lighter green across to start bringing out those details just a touch more. And if for some reason you get this onto the darker green, that is okay.
I mean, it's also dry brushing, which means if you do get it onto a part that you're not meaning to, you're probably not going to get that much
It's not
on.
that much. That's just it. That is just it. So this you can see, that's the nice thing because of the way these wings are compartmentalized. You can already see the difference happening between the non and the ones that did get it.
And you know, I may need to add even more white because I'm not really seeing a difference.
If you're not, then yeah, you need to lighten up just a touch more.
Yeah, I think my light green, I might have gone lighter
quite
than
light enough.
yours.
Okay.
So I think I have to just go
Yeah.
a tiny bit more light. Because
That's
as I'm
fair.
doing this, I'm like, I'm not seeing anything.
You should see a difference. Yeah, you should see. It's not like it's, highly noticeable in terms of like stark contrast, but you can tell just looking between what I haven't touched yet and what I have touched. There's a difference.
Oh yeah, there is a huge difference. I shouldn't say huge. There's a very clear difference.
Yeah. Something shifted.
So yeah, I think I just need whether what I'd originally mixed up was for the wings. 'Cause did we use just the flat out
We use flat out
goblin green
goblin
for
green on the
that?
wings, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I just don't have enough of the bone white to start off with,
Maybe, yeah.
or maybe my goblin green just
Well, and
looks different.
we
I don't
have been
know.
talking about how our goblin greens keep separating. So there's that factor
Yeah,
too.
that might have been that too. So
Yeah.
let's give this a try.
Oh, but I love doing stuff like this because look at the difference.
Oh yeah.
That makes me happy.
Oh yeah. And now I got
Now you got it.
now I got it.
Huzzah! Don't forget the wings have two sides, front and back.
This one I'm gonna be better about. I'm gonna be better about one side at a time.
Uh huh. Four zones essentially, and then the
Yeah.
fins. Oh, I don't know why, but this always makes me happy when I do like the leathery texture stuff.
Oh, and Cypher Chair is saying they need to strip and redo my dragon with this method. Mine looks so drab. Do you usually recommend people like do a full strip, or if they're looking to spruce up an older paint, is this something that is like a dry brushing technique, something that you can try before you
You
go
can try
for?
to dry brush first and see if that makes enough of a difference. If it's something where you went in and did pretty much just one color over the entire dragon, that gets a little bit trickier to add the nuanced depths and color differentiations. So then a full strip might be in order. So yeah, you can start off first, Cypher, with a little dry brush trick and see if that makes a difference. If not, if you're not seeing the results you want in just a section of your dragon, then yeah, you can go in and just alley up and start over again.
Now, while I might know that
Mm-hmm.
a stripping, pulling off all of the paint,
Yeah.
what do you actually do to do something like that? If someone's got, say, like an older mini that
Mm-hmm.
they've learned some new techniques or has just faded and just could use, I'm just going to do a repaint. This is going to
Yeah.
be fun to like, what do you actually do?
I tend to use 90% rubbing alcohol. Some people will. I don't recommend it though because acetone can sometimes eat away at the plastic and change things. You can
Mm,
also use nail polish remover, but you have to be really quick about it. And it's not brake fluid. There's something brake related. It's like a car thing. It's enough to just start breaking apart the paint. Um, I'd have to look back in my old notes and stuff of what the other paint remover methods are. There are
yeah.
tons of videos on YouTube of people who show you how to remove paint from their miniatures.
Hmm.
So by all means, go over and check that one out and see what method works for you. I find that the rubbing alcohol, a toothbrush, and like a cotton swab is usually how I'll go with a mini strip.
And is that the kind of thing where, and I probably know the answer to this. Is this also going to remove the primer?
Yes,
Or
absolutely. Yeah.
okay,
It
yeah,
will
that's kind of what I
completely
figured.
pull your primer away, so you have to reprime the miniature. You
Okay,
don't have the starting advantage of it being primed from the box like you do with the usual WizKids minis.
but I would imagine if you've either got a very large mini, maybe one that you spent a little bit of money on, and so
Mm-hmm.
you don't necessarily want to just buy a brand new mini, or maybe it's a sentimental mini, maybe it's
Right.
something that you've had for a while and you wanted to give it a spruced up paint job, but you don't necessarily want to you can't buy a new one.
Yeah.
That totally makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. Just
Yeah. Okay,
go
so
for a new paint, and painting is fun.
it is. So this is the side that has the dry brushing, and you can see a lot more of the highlighting of the texture. This is the side that does not have it. So you can see there's a difference that happens through here. I love this part. This is like my favorite part with wings. Dry brush the texture, bring it to life.
And the wings are really,
Oh,
I don't want to say easy to dry brush, but they are. Like
Yeah.
it's this nice wide surface.
Yep.
The direction you got to do the dry brushing is super obvious.
Yes.
There's just that immediate pop of
Mm-hmm.
the
It's
all the
satisfying.
folds in the wings.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of one of the reasons why when I started and it was obvious that this wasn't the color that I wanted,
Fair.
it was super quick of like,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, Oh
Yeah.
no, I should be seeing.
You
I should be seeing a lot more than
what
this.
you were. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there you go. You're learning.
Yay.
Ta-da.
Only taken 11 episodes.
Oh, stop.
Hey, I'm happy. I'm having
Good.
fun.
You should be. You absolutely should be.
I still look back at those myconids that we did.
Mm-hmm.
I still love them.
They came out so well.
They came out so well, and I love. I still look at the gradation on like the rainbow on the top of the one that we did. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I still
so
have them
good.
sitting. They're out of reach, but they sit so I can see them every day.
Yeah.
I had such fun with them.
I was joking with you, but I'll say this on air. I have all of the minis that we've painted are actually on display. It's a little hard to tell because I've got my background is dark, but I got them all on display. And oops, sorry.
It's okay.
My dragon just attacked my microphone. The problem is this dragon is going to be a little big for the space that I have them normally displayed in. So when we're done with this dragon, I have to reevaluate my display space for my paint and slay minis.
How to display your dragon?
How to display all my minis, including a dragon that is the size of most of the other minis combined.
Yes.
Not including the beholder. I think the beholder gets its own special place.
Yeah, I agree. That works for me. All right, so I'm wrapping up to the last side of the second wing.
I feel like I forgot a section, but I'm looking. Oh, you know what? I forgot that little
flap.
That little extra on the top of each of the wings.
Yep. That's a spot.
that.
That's easy to... Oops-a-daisy. Oops-a-daisy.
Yeah. Not nearly as many folds as the rest of the wing, but
no.
Super obvious that it needs some love.
Give it a little zhuzh. Give it a little zhuzh.
Yeah. There we go. And a couple more questions came on in.
Okay.
Trontonian says, two-sided wings. What is this sorcery? And a Cipher of Cheer says, I'll listen to these suggestions. Thanks. I don't particularly like gesso to work with. I've also got black auto primer, but hard to use indoors without ventilation. Yeah, primer. I've had my own dealings with primer, as those that watched me with my my beholder, because we did we did some modifications to that, and so then we needed to prime it, and some of us didn't learn to take the clear see-through bases off of our minis before we primed, and now we have white primer all over our face. And while V was very good to show off how to get some of that off, it was a challenge.
Yeah, it happens. It absolutely happens. It's not, it's process.
Yeah, it is definitely a process. And I'm lucky enough in where we don't have like a completely our own back porch, but we got a little back porch, and we're on the ground floor of our apartment. So it was easy to at least go out the back door and get some ventilation for the primer. But yeah, I came back inside and I went,
Oopsie.
oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did a thing. I also ran this along the fin through here.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll help it pop a little bit more. Just a touch. Just a little bit. Bring out those fins. It's hard to show the sweeping motion because of the angle and the wings, but I did it. Trust me, I did it. And I think we'll be able to get... Oh, yeah, we have time to get the belly.
Yay, belly.
Yeah.
That's good. I hadn't even thought about that fin, but we definitely want to go after anything that was the lighter green color for that exact reason.
Yep, there you go. So we're almost getting the full body done outside of the finer detail work, which is not a bad thing for next week.
Yeah, we've got the eyes, the teeth, the talons, and the claws, the crystals on the base.
Yep, dry brushing and the crystals on the brace. No, the base.
That too.
They're better. Okay, and then let's see here for the underbelly. Oh, we're just gonna lighten it up even more. So take the same thing you have and just lighten up just a touch more.
Okay.
Oh, come on. Please just do what I need you to do. I so need to take care of this bottle this weekend. I don't know what's living in there, but it's having too much fun partying when I open the cap. So I'm going to lighten this up just a little bit more so that the belly has a slightly lighter dry brush color. So we'll call this color, oh, what do you look like? What color? Almost...
Weak wasabi.
Weak wasabi, right?
Wasabi for those of us who need our wasabi watered down just a little bit.
Maybe.
Ooh.
Pea green soup, like a creamy pea green soup. That work?
That works for me.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Also,
Yes.
Prince Guinevere suggests perching other minis on top of the dragon. I don't know if I can, but I like the idea.
I do too. Okay, great. So now I'm going to take this lightened, even lighter blend of Goblin and Bone White. And we're going to tickle the belly. I'm actually going to go very lightly over this section because there's a lot of this nubbly texture that's happening here, but it's not as deeply detailed. So what I don't want to do is press so hard that it actually gets into the grooves. So this is just like very lightly going across the surface. And then you can always go back in and build up as needed. But a little is going to go a long way, you'll find, in terms of how much pressure to put on your brush.
Yeah, it's once again that idea of you can always go back and add more, but it's really hard to take away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do a little bit at a time and kind of go back over as I go. Dude, what is going on?
So there must have been some on the side of my brush because I was looking at the middle and then I looked over at the side where the leg was and I had like this streak on the leg that was way too thick. And then as I add over that, I also elbowed my plate and I don't think I got paint on me, but I came real close.
It was eventful almost.
Yeah, there was almost a little bit of a green disaster, and I like this shirt, and I would have been very upset if I got green paint all over the shirt, and it would have been that moment of like, hey everyone, talk to V for a little bit as I go change shirts and put this in the wash right now.
Well, actually, you'd have to put rubbing alcohol in it first to make sure that you break up the paint.
Oh yeah.
To get the paint out. Trust me, I have saved a couple of shirts doing that.
That is good to know.
Good for disinfecting and fixing your painting oopsies.
Especially when it comes to shirts.
Oh, yeah, totally.
The things I do for all of you, I wear shirts that I really, really like, even though there is a very good chance I'm going to get paint all over it. Oh.
I will play that game. It's like, how much do I like this shirt? Should something go wrong?
Ooh, that really helps around the jawline of this dragon, getting the details in and around the jaw.
Yep, it should pop it out a lot more. I'm kind of working my way up from tail to jaw from my approach, so I'm glad to hear that you see the difference.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think the wings, just because of the way that they are, have more obvious the wrinkly texture to the wings.
Oh yeah.
That while it definitely helps that texture and the details pop, they stand out a lot more than, like you said, this kind of little stippling that's on the underbelly and the tail, which is there, but now that I've got some of the dry brushing on there, it's really, really standing out.
Yeah.
I don't know how much is going to show up on my camera, but especially there. Like
you can see through here. Look at all that loveliness. It lives there.
Yeah. But yeah, especially that section right between the legs under the tail into the belly. It really helped. I don't know if that's just in shadow or what it was, but that really lifted up those details.
Oh, that's right. We also have the wash happening next week.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ruiner 2077. Gotta go to the gym. Thank you for joining us. You can catch up the rest of our paint on the YouTube channel where we have a paint and slay
playlist.
Thank you. Playlist just was a word that left my mind.
That's what I
Thank you.
figured.
We have a Paint and Slay playlist and where you can catch up with all of the shows, and we tend to get the episodes up pretty quickly. Also, TTRP Gifts wants to know, do you have a tutorial on how to prime minis? We don't for here, but V, have you done a tutorial?
I have. Well, it's not like a set tutorial, but if you go back to my YouTube channel, The Crafting Miniatures, it's a VOD library. I very rarely upload there anymore because time is a factor I don't have anymore. But if you go to my live streams where I am painting miniatures, I start from scratch with so many of those minis. You'll see some priming tips and tricks if you need to go in and prime a mini that isn't already primed like the WizKids minis are.
Yeah, so we've been sticking both for time and ease.
Yeah.
We've been sticking to the WizKids primed minis, but yeah, sometimes you don't have an option. Either the only mini that you can get in the one that you want is a unprimed mini. Maybe you are doing a 3D print of your own.
Exactly.
So yeah, maybe that's a good thing for us to do at some point in the future.
Yeah, we can absolutely. That might be a fun thing. We can talk off camera. We can have a conversation about some, ideas.
Yeah, that might be the kind of thing we have to film ahead of time and then add in, because like Cypher of Tyr was saying, having adequate ventilation is a very good thing for a lot of priming. Even if it's a small mini, you want to be safe. You want to be healthy. I mean, even for just painting, you want adequate ventilation, but definitely for priming, having that is really important, and that then causes problems when you're trying to film. But maybe that's the kind of thing we talk about filming in advance. And here's our priming 101.
All right, so here we go with everything now on my side is dry brushed for the greens.
I'm just finishing up the bits down the leg.
Totally
I'm trying to
cool.
get.
I think I got those. Yeah, I got those. So you can see there's a lot more texture now showing. The greens have become a bit more not blended, but pulled together. So there's not such a stark contrast in some respects, which is what I knew was going to be happening and I wanted to have happen. It pulls it out of the more cartoonish depiction into a more realistic look. But you can see we have all of this lovely.
It's a little harder to see on mine just because my camera is for faces, not for Dargans, but I'll take some pictures to show off afterwards, and you can definitely see how much detail it adds to it.
I'm actually going to have some fun and take because I have a very little amount left on my brush. I'm actually going to take this very light green and play it on the face a little bit because I want that to pop out just a little bit more. It's like, with makeup, you add highlighter. It's kind of what we're doing right now. I really want that face to pop out just a touch more. Yeah, I like that.
And once we add the detail in the eye, that will also help as well. But just getting the couple of
the cheekbones and the socket detail. Yeah.
The snoot ridges.
Yes, exactly. I think for that I'm happy with adding just a little bit more to that one. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Very happy with that one. All right, excellent, which means we still have time. Hey, look at that. We still have time to start doing the talons and claws.
Awesome.
So I'm going to rinse my brush. And by the way, my rinse water always has just a touch of Dawn dish detergent soap because it helps break it up a little bit when you go to rinse, and it gets you a cleaner rinse on your brush. And you can also have it in your thinning out water because it acts as a suspension. There's the word I want to say.
That's all right. At least you had the word. There were a couple times, there was playlist. That's not a word.
I like it when words just walk out of your head. They're just oh, you're going to use me? Bye.
Especially when you're, say, on stream or DMing a game or doing something where words are important.
I forgot the word superstitious one time. And trying to explain the word I was looking for wasn't working either. It's like when you're afraid of things and things won't go right and they're foreboding and you're don't know. I'm it's like a cell.
Yep. I've been there. Yep. Especially in DMing.
Yep.
Also, thank you to Buzz Lightyear for the bits. Thank you very much. That was very kind of you, and happy Friday.
Now, the nice thing is, pardon me as I clear my throat, I do believe we're just using some straight up colors for the claws and the talons.
Okay. While you're looking that up, let me...
Yes. We are.
Elijah does want to know, what camera are you using to show your painting? Since we've mentioned a couple of times, this camera of mine is for faces. So what do you have there for your mini painting?
I use and adore my Logitech Brio because actually both of my cameras are Brios. They work so that I can get both of them focused and toggled, and I can manually go in separately, and OBS doesn't get mad at me. But I have found that the Brio is a wonderful webcam for miniature painting in a reasonable price bracket. So that is what I'm using, the Logitech Brio. So that was easy.
Nice.
Yeah. So, okay. Any other questions? Good.
Nothing at the moment. This would be your, since we're in the last kind of 20 minutes
Yeah.
of the show, because we do have, I believe we've got Garwar's guide after
Yes.
this.
Yes.
The amazing Martin, our moderator, will confirm that for me. So we've only got about 20 more minutes as we're going to Talon and Claw. So if you do have any last questions before we finish up here and we say hello to Garwar, go ahead and put those in chat with question in big capital letters so Martin can grab those. And yes, Martin says Garwar's guide to everything is after this.
Lovely.
Okay, right. So what's next?
I'm going to bone white. I'm going to die 10 over 0 again. And I've put just a little bit on the tip of my brush. And I'm actually going to put this bone white onto the teeth. And then I'm going to do it on the horns. Pardon my hiccup, that are sort of poking out at the head and around the neck plates. So we're going to go in with that, yeah.
Okay.
So just a touch of bone white. And again, you can just lightly graze over the teeth, and that'll be enough to get the color onto the teeth and not have to worry too much about getting it elsewhere.
Yep, and if the teeth end up remaining slightly bloodied, well, this dragon is flying away from just doing a chompers.
There we go. It's telling a story in its paint.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that already looks so much better.
Yeah. You'll also be doing a wash on top of these, so it's not going to be as pure, no, not pure white. It's not going to be as bright of a white tone. It'll take on a browned effect or a brown tone to it because of the wash. So the teeth will look more aged and, well-worn attacking dragons, so to speak.
Yeah. I also just like, because I got red everywhere. And so now just getting that little bit of white back on the teeth puts the detail back into the mouth that I lost a little bit of because red on teeth.
Yes.
So
fully understand that one. So
you are completely right that you don't have to get every single tooth completely covered, just enough so that they stand out a little bit is perfect.
Sometimes with painting, less is more.
Mm-hmm.
And more is too much.
Although I did just get white on the tongue. Ah! No tongue, no.
It has, that's a thing. It's like thrush. Where you have white spots on your tongue.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's a thing.
It's a thing that little babies can get sometimes.
I had no idea.
Yep. Okay, so I got the toofas. Pull it back for the focus. There we go. So you can see, that's better with my hand behind it. You can see more. So there are the teeth. And I'm going to do the horns. Same brush, same color.
There we go. Fixing the... All right.
Actually.
There's my teeth. A little harder to see, but...
Chompas.
All right. And then these horns. I'm kind of interested in this because the teeth are kind of obvious, but the horns, I'm not sure... are as obvious because they feel...
Yeah. You have this cluster right through here that start at the brow. So you have your 1, 2.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
3, 4. I'm literally just getting a dab on them so people can see. So there is a run of 5 that go around the brow
Yeah.
on that side.
This is the moment in where really being able to prop my elbows up against something.
Yes.
So that I can get that really fine.
Go out from under camera.
Yeah.
There's no way I can do this with the camera hanging over my face. Sorry, folks.
Oof. Because, yeah, they're small, but that does make a difference.
Yeah, it's also the, it's limiting, when I have the camera over me, it's limiting how I can move my brush handle. So it makes it tricky to get into the right angle I need to get for them.
And then there is the challenge of, okay, I just got the outside of the horn. Now I got to get the inside of the horn.
Yeah. Yep. Because, horns are 3D.
How dare this miniature be three-dimensional? Jeez.
How dare.
Don't you know that I'm an amateur at this?
Hey, you're getting good.
I am having fun. I don't know if I will say I'm getting good, but I'm having fun, and I'm definitely better than I used to be, which is the important part.
You're learning.
Yeah.
There we go. So that is the 5 on the brow bone for the one side.
Yeah.
And then we have these lovely fellows that kind of live in the jaw here.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm going to dab some paint on as well.
Just under the jaw, or are we also going for like the beard area?
Kind of the beard area too.
Okay.
And those, it's just lightly, it's almost like a heavier handed dry brush that I'm doing right now. Just to get those beard bones.
Beard bones.
Yep.
Oh, this part is so awesome, but also a little nerve-wracking.
Fiddly. It's definitely a fiddly section.
Yeah. It's a little harder to talk through this as you're like...
We're both going to be a little bit more quiet. Yep. I just had, I guess the wind's picking up, and if you see me jump, it's because when the wind blows through my area every so often, it sounds like a banshee.
Oh.
I'm like, wow, there's something in my house. No, there isn't.
All right,
so that is with the chin bits done. See?
Go.
And I'm going to get the other brow bones. The arch bones? Get it figured out.
I'm just kind of looking at these that you're looking at. So this is actually on like this. Oh, you're just talking about the other side.
Yeah, the other eye. Break on through to the other eye.
I was only able to find 4. Is there a 5th on this side that I'm missing?
No, I was just about to say, heads up, there's only 4.
Okay, good. I mean, it's a dragon. Are you going to argue with the number of
No, because even
bones?
like the slod, the feet, there's 4 on one and 3 on the other. It happens sometimes. It adds
They break.
Quality.
Not every creature is perfectly symmetrical, and you know what? When you're a dragon, you're gorgeous no matter how many bone ridges you got, and no one is ever going to tell you otherwise. No one who is going to survive long enough to prove their point anyway.
Who would be wise enough to tell a dragon, excuse me, sir, but you're not balanced?
Right?
It doesn't strike me as a wise choice.
Nope. Not even the nice dragons that won't immediately eat you.
Okay, so I have the brow bones done. So I'm going to go through in here on the neck plates. You can see there's like these little nubbly bits sticking out. Gonna go in with that now.
Oh, yeah. All right, everybody, stretch and take a deep breath, and here we go.
Yep. And it does help to have like a bead at the tip of your brush and touch the bead where you want the paint to go, it's less paint stroke so much as tapping.
Oh, yeah.
And in this case, don't get too caught up trying to get the underside of those. You will aggravate yourself.
Mm.
So I'm just going to go through and just add this where I see them.
Tap, 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 tap,
Yep.
tap, tap.
Bloop, bloop. It's like you're booping.
Not snoots, but...
Not snoots. It's not a boop snoot. It's a boop bone.
Sure. Sure. Why not? Let's go for it.
It's a boop bone.
We need someone in chat to come up with like the official description
what are
of
these called?
What be those?
What
We need someone to be Volo in chat and come up with a description of what these things are.
Oh, I'm here for that. Who could we get to join us as Volo? Or like Volo's apprentice or something like that.
The next Volo.
Mm-hmm.
The Volo who won't run away at the first sign of danger.
Right? Oh, good lord. Okay, so that's the one side. Booped. Boop, 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 boop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just a fun little extra detail. I like it. How are we doing?
Yeah, and I can see when it gets washed how it will blend a little bit more, but then help with that detail stick out.
Yeah, it'll be a fun little, no pun intended, touch.
Oh, all right. We've got suggestions.
Yes.
Scale plate spikes from Knox Angus.
Okay.
Wood Canoe says gill spines.
Ooh, interesting.
Lurking Rider says defensive bone frills. Kralin72 says neck pricklies.
I don't know why that one just broke me.
Yeah. Irene UK says beard spikes.
Beard spikes.
Garwar agrees. Volo's a hack. Cody 2010 says hackle spikes. Which, considering this is a green dragon, I really like, because when don't they have their hackles raised? Yeah. I'm kind of going between hackle spikes and gill spines.
I kind of like hackle spikes because gill kind of connotates aquatic.
Oh, that's true. And the green dragons, they're swampy, but they're not truly aquatic.
Yeah.
But that means, red. I'm going through all of the chromatics. I think all the chromatics. I don't know if there's a water-based chromatic. I know one of the metallics is water. Does the water stuff? Isn't
the topaz one? Am I misremembering that?
Maybe. Also, yeah. I'm not as conversant with the newer gem dragons, but yeah.
Okay, so now that I have the hackle spikes done, I'm just gonna get the haunch spikes.
Ah, yeah.
Over here on the front legs.
Oh, and after the little tiny ones on the head,
so easy.
They feel so big.
Like, look, I can just go through and bloop.
I can actually run a brush across something instead of being like, hold your breath and okay.
Pray. Hold your breath and pray. But we're almost there.
Oh, and I'm glad you remembered these because I totally forgot about these.
Yeah, I'm
totally forgot.
Top to bottom. Yeah, because I think it was these, and then we can do the talons next week.
And I not only, like, I was good enough when we originally painted the legs that I actually managed to keep them from getting too much green on them. So, like, that would have stuck out quite a bit if I'd forgotten those.
So that is the haunch spikes, the hackle spikes, head spikes, chin spikes. I like spikes, I think.
Spiky.
Spikes have worked.
Kermie is a spiky boy.
Yes. Kermie.
Yep.
I'm just quickly checking the back legs. It's more of a dew claw, so that we'll treat as a claw. I don't see any spikes on the back legs. Yeah. All right. Okay, so look at this. We've made some really good
Yay.
progress today.
We did.
I'm happy.
I mean, we're basically at the point in where, yeah, it's just
Mm-hmm.
some final little bits of
Yep.
detail and wash.
Yep, it'll be the eyes, the claws, and the talony points here, which we're going to do in black. And then we'll be able to do washes on that. And while the washes are drying, we'll be able to work on having some fun with the base.
Yay!
So that's the game plan for next week.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait. I'm super excited.
This is looking so cool.
Oh gosh, I'm really happy with the texture that got brought out today with all the dry brushing.
Yeah.
And now we have a pretty good sense of how this looks painted in full, which is even better.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that was the other thing. Like when we first started and we were just getting these streaks of green, it could sometimes be a little difficult to get the overall feel of everything.
Yeah.
But now like this is practically done.
Yeah. Yeah. I like
All
all
right.
the flying sounds.
Like I'm into it. I'm into the Dargan doing that.
Yes.
I need to figure out a place to put this down because
It's a Friday, folks. I'm so sorry.
I'm not sorry. I love it. Upside down flying.
I'm laughing at how it looks from my camera. It's like just.
Yeah, like if you get your hand in just holding just the right place as it goes by, especially because of the way that it naturally angles, it's just. Yep, that's gonna get clipped and end up on socials. I'm okay with that. Okay, well, before we make more Dargan noises, I'm going to thank V for all the awesome painting advice and Dargan noises. I'm going to thank Martin for being an amazing moderator in our chat. Yes, lurking writer, the barring unforeseen circumstances, we are back in full. There we are going to be back to our regularly scheduled shows on Fridays from 12 until 2 Pacific here on twitch.tv/CNE Games. And yes, Rylus, I realized there was a whole bunch of last minute questions that came in. Rylus wanted to know, have you accidentally licked a used toothbrush? Yes. Wood Canoe said 2 things I did not expect today: beard tentacles and beard bones. And thank you to all of you in chat for joining us on our painting adventure. Stick around for Garwar's guide to everything, where he might be fighting Dargans. Who knows? I hope no matter what he fights, if a Dargan comes up, he makes plain attack noises with them. V, is there anything else we need to talk about?
No, just have a great weekend, everyone, and we'll see you next week as we wrap up our Young Green Dragon in episode 4.
Yay! Have a good one.
Take care, everyone. Bye!